Just wanted to show you guys just a quick little update on the super dump. I just finished relocating the tarp. As some of you guys know that have watched some of the past live streams, my driver, he put the strong arm on top of the tarp, broke the tarp and broke the strong arm. Yes, it was his fault. Yes, it was horrible design by the body manufacturer. So I just fixed it, And as a business owner, this is what you got to do, if something can go wrong, you have to change it so nothing can go wrong. So let me just show you what I did. And yes, Doug, I looked at all the pictures and stuff you sent me. Change the location. Here, let me just show you. Okay, so I put a high mount on it. Yeah, exactly, Joey. Accidents happen. It was bad design to begin with. So basically what I did is I just made it so it can't happen again. That's what you got to do when you run a business. You just got to make it so bad things don't happen, And how do you do that? You start modifying things. You got to modify it to fit your specific need, your specific business, right? So there's the original tarp bracket. You can see it. When the tarp was back and the strong arm is down, right? Just for sakes, the tarp would sit right on those little wings I got right on the top of the tailgate. The tarp would sit right on those wings. And when the strong arm folds back, if you don't have the tarp up, well, you can see it will just totally annihilate the tarp arms, which it did. I mean, it busted them right off. You can see the original arms were just, this is basically what it looked like. It got just totally destroyed. And that was the second time that happened, And what happens is the tarp arm is sitting right there. When the strong arm comes up, it lifts the tarp up, and then it breaks those fittings off right there, which it happened, That fitting on that nitrogen bottle got broke off. Right? So I had to re-weld. I had to take the gaskets off and weld it. Right? Because I'm not buying another cylinder and I'm not trying to retap it. It's just not worth it. So now the tarp doesn't go completely to the rear, but what it does do is it covers 3/4 of the load. So you can see it covers the majority of the load. That's about where the pile starts going down, right? So that it is what it is, And I know there are going to be some guys, well, no, that's not covering the whole load. What's the point of having a tarp, this, that, and another, Well, a lot of companies have short tarps just like that for the exact same reason that I just did mine, is because, now the strong arm can't break the tarp, So, let's see. Sorry, guys. The internet's kind of choppy out here. You guys know that. But, let me go around to the other side. The light's too bright. You can't see it. So this is the type of stuff, that sometimes you don't want to do it on the weekend, You'd rather be doing other stuff, but, this is the type of stuff that will save you money in the long run. So there it is. So I just relocated it basically, Not the end of the world. Still covers, I mean, you can see it covers 3/4 of the box, right? that little section right there. I mean, you know, it is what it is. So, and I know I'm gonna get some comments. Oh, that doesn't cover the whole load or whatever. Well, guess what? You know, almost all of the OSW boxes are the exact same. So, you know, it's like basically industry standard. That's a deep cut in that tire. That's interesting. Look at that. It's almost like it's separating or something. Or it got slashed or something. Who knows? So, no, you can't get a ticket, Doc. You don't even have to have a tarp in Washington State. You don't even have to tarp your loads unless it's like blowing dust and dirt on the road. I mean, if you're leaving a trail of dust, you know, 200 feet, yeah, you need to have it tarped, right? But the main purpose of having a tarp in Washington is if you're hauling asphalt. That's like the main purpose, right? And the purpose of the tarp is to be kind of a windbreak. You know, the wind chill goes over the asphalt. It doesn't create a crusty layer, right? So that's the main purpose of the tarp. Some people think it's to keep the heat in. It doesn't keep heat in. It's literally just a piece of fabric. It's not to keep the heat in. It's to keep the wind from cooling it down, right? That's the purpose of a tarp. And I kind of learned that when I picked this one up, because this is actually a mesh tarp that's asphalt rated, right? So, you know, it's a mesh tarp for asphalt. Like, to me, that seems like, okay, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Because, like, you're thinking, the tarp's supposed to hold the heat in. No, the tarp doesn't really hold the heat in. All it really does is create a windbreak for the wind to roll over the asphalt without actually super cooling the asphalt. Like, that's the main purpose of the tarp. So, in Washington, you don't have to tarp your loads every single time. Nobody does it. Nobody tarps their loads unless they're hauling asphalt, or unless it's like super dusty, or, you know, that's just something they love to do. If they like to tarp it, they like to tarp it. You know, when I first started dump trucking, I tarped every single load, and then I noticed, you know, as I was going more and more and more, you know, nobody tarps their loads, you know, unless they're hauling asphalt. You know, it is what it is. So, you know, I've gotten kind of lazy on that. Unless I got a super fat load, I normally don't tarp it. Or unless it's like a dusty type of dirt. You know, if it's super dusty, I'm definitely tarping it, because I don't want to leave, you know, I don't want to look at my mirror and see 600 feet of, you know, dusting everybody down the freeway. So, you know, that's just what it is. So let me just run you a quick run through on how I relocated the tarp. I like Doug's idea. He suggested moving that mounting bracket this way and then shortening the arm, right? And what that would have done is it would have kept the lower pivot point for the tarp, right? Which would have kept the arm out of the way of the loader a little bit more, right? But the geometry would have been a little bit harder, and it would have been a little more tricky for me, mounting and, you know, calculating the arm length. Joe, he's doing great. Joe March, he's doing great. I love that guy. You know, he always shows up on time, and he does his work, and he goes home. You know, sure, he makes a few mistakes just like everybody else, but, you know, he doesn't let that stop him from coming in the next day and, you know, getting his hours in. So Doug suggested I move it right there, you know, but or up a little bit too, I think is what he said. But it would have just looked kind of funky, I think. You need a tarp if you have less than 6 inches of freeboard. That's a another law in Washington. You got to have 6 inches of freeboard. I thought that was just kind of everywhere, you know. Basically, you got to have 6 inches and a foot this way, right? It has to be down 6 inches and a foot that way, you know, without tarping it, basically. So tarping is another way you can kind of, you know, get a little bit further down the road, per se, you know. I think the freeboard rule still applies even if you have a tarp on it, but people push the limit a little more with the tarp because it kind of conceals it, right? And, you know, people driving down the road are less likely to call on you like, hey, this guy's got stuff, you know, just about ready to spill over, you know, as he takes the corner. You know, they're not going to see it as much, so it's probably overlooked a little bit more. So what I did was, that was the original mounting. That's the new mounting. What I did was I took a piece of 4 by 3/4 inch thick, and I spray painted it except for the back side, and then I just welded it. Right? You can see I just welded it. But before I welded it up there, I made this little template. I'm going to come in here. Hopefully I don't lose you coming in this shipping container. Sometimes I lose service. Give me a second here. I'll pull my little template out and show you guys. So this is my little template that I made. It's just a piece of cardboard. Nothing fancy, right? And when that was still attached to here, I just basically put this piece of cardboard in here, you know, right? Marked where the bolts were. Is soap and water illegal there? I don't know what that is, but I don't think so. I would doubt it. So anyways, I you know, just drew those 2 dots, you know, and then I cut the piece of metal, you know, I just put this on there, use my hot saw. I got a concrete cutting saw. You can't see it in there, it's really far in there. Anyways, I just cut it, you know, because all I got is a generator right now for power. So, oh, yeah, Joe McNo. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. That went right over my head. That definitely went right over my head. So I cut the metal. You know, I used this template to cut the metal, put it in the drill press, started up my generator, you know, popped the 2 holes in each piece, and then spray painted it. Yeah, my truck does need a wash, doesn't it? Definitely needs a wash. Right over my head, just like the tarp. Yeah. You know, I don't think that tarp is going to be much higher than it was before, because I shortened the length of it, right? So imagine if the tarp was right there, when it would go up, that's about how high it would be. Now the tarp is right there, right? So it's probably not as high. Like if you look at it, like watch the pivot, right? Right, so that's straight up, because it would go that way till it would sit right about there. So I mean, that might be taller than it is now, or it's probably the same, you know, who knows. I don't know if it's tall or not. Why did I move the tarp? Well, I had to move it because it was the second time that my driver forgot to put the tarp back and put the strong arm back, and it not only broke the tarp arms, but it also drained the nitrogen in the strong arm, and it broke that fitting right there on that cylinder. So I had to re-weld that on there, and recharge the nitrogen. So, had to do that. So now, the main point of moving it is so now he can't break the strong arm again, and he doesn't break the tarp arms again. Yeah, it's a bad design, Blinda. I mean, who makes a design so it can hurt itself? You know what I mean? That's just, you know, people forget things like that. You got to eliminate things like that, or you're just going to cause more headaches for yourself, you know? So that's why I moved it. And a lot of companies have moved theirs as well. So I'm not the only guy that was like, hey, this is my idea, you know? No, it's not. I'm not the genius who thought of it. I wish I was, but, you know, there's tons of companies that have theirs mounted up high and also shorten the distance. So now he can tarp every single load if he wants to. But, you know, if he loads on top of that tarp, I swear, dude, if you load on that tarp, you're buying a new tarp. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. If you load on top of that tarp because you forgot to put it back, you're buying a new tarp, you know. You know, I do my best to keep everything running great, you know. So. Oh, another thing I did, because I relocated it and I shortened arms up so much, I had to, you can see I had to cut the main piece about a foot, you know. Yeah. You know, I'm right there with all the other guys, you know. I forget to lock the tailgate too, you know. It's, you know, you get in the rush, you know. You're trying to bang stuff out. Yeah, Ryan, it's the cost of doing business, you know. You know, that's the cost to make the big bucks, I guess, you know. So I just relocated it, you know. Now, you know, he can't break stuff as easy. So I think he's going to love it because he loves using the tarp, you know. So now he doesn't have to worry about, you know, putting a strong arm on it. Yeah. Yep. It's true. You got to babysit us. I mean, we are tunnel vision guys, you know. Truck drivers are tunnel vision guys, you know. We can only focus on one thing at a time. You know, when stuff starts going sideways, we start losing our minds because, you know, we can only do one thing at a time. So, I'm very happy with the way it's turned out, though. I mean, that is a slick. It looks great, you know. I'm not going to cut that off because, yeah, I was telling my guys, don't worry, it's just money. Yeah, don't worry about it. It's just money. It ain't that big of a deal. I say that too sometimes, Ryan. I'm not gonna cut that off because I don't have the exact paint to paint match. So that paint right there. You might be able to tell in the video. It's just slightly lighter, and I mean it could be because this is so dirty too. You know, if this was cleaner, I mean. If that was cleaner, it might be about the same, but I think it's slightly a lighter color. I don't know, it's hard to tell. So, I'm happy with the way it turned out. Turned out good. You know, main thing is, you know, trucks, you know, yes, we like them to look pretty and beautiful and stuff, you know, but the main purpose is making money, hauling loads. It's a business, you know what I mean? You like to look good while you're doing it, but at the end of the day, if it ain't functional, you know, it ain't working out, you know? So, yep. Truck's still looking like a stallion. Definitely needs a wash, though. You guys are right on that. Once we get our well done, I'll have him wash this thing once or twice, you know, probably twice a month or something. Right now, it's just, you know, you can just see this thing is just, look at the buildup. But that's a money maker right there, man. This thing, I worked today too. So, you know, I went out and made $600. I think it's 600. I hauled 2 loads up to Seattle, $14.50 a ton. Hauling 25 tons, so that's about $600, you know, give or take. So I'm happy, you know, do with it. I don't know, those of you guys that are just now tuned in, you can see my old tailgate. Look at this tailgate, man. This thing was, look at the design on this. You know, this is so thin. No wonder it bowed out the first load. You know, no wonder it bowed out. I mean, you can see that it's bowed right now. No wonder it bowed out. They cut those 2 massive holes right there in the middle of the tailgate. You know, and it's only 1/8 inch thick. I've put the whole weight of the load up against this tailgate multiple times. Oh, Ryan, it's just money. Who knows? You know, probably summertime, maybe. I don't know. I mean, look at this. Look how tight that is. And I've put the whole weight of the load up against that thing. The whole weight. Guess what? No bows. That thing's solid as a rock. The one thing I wish I could have changed the design on is these latches. I wish I could change the design on them because they're horrible for spreading. No, not because I forgot to unlock the gate. Very funny. Very funny. No, I was testing the strength of my tailgate, my craftsmanship. That's what I was doing. At least that's what I'm going to say. I was testing my craftsmanship. But when you want to do a good spread, you got to get some weight on that tailgate. I mean, that's just the way it is. If you want a good spread, a good even spread, you know, it's easier to put more weight on the tailgate than not as much, you know, because if you don't have a lot of weight on that tailgate, it might be patchy in some spots. Did they get power out to you yet? Yeah, we got primary power and fiber optics to our first turnaround. Someone stole Shine. Yeah. We don't have power yet. Check out our fuel island we got there. We don't spread with our supers, always TNT or solo. Yeah, well, we spread with the super all the time. Now, before, when the tailgate was a piece of junk, I told them, don't, you know, set the chains as wide as you can before you spread, you know. And, you know, it still bowed the tailgate out multiple times. The reason that those lights were in is because I smashed it in with the excavator. You know, it would be bowed out one day and he'd come home. I'd have to smash it back in with the excavator, you know, so it was, you know, and, you know, to keep the truck rolling, you know, it's got to make money. So I'll show you where we got power to. So back there's where our house is going to be. Okay, give me a second. I'll show you where the power is going to be too. So I still got a good, what is that? Probably 300 feet. That's where the power box is right now. Our transformer that I had to buy. I'm going to walk over here. No. Nope, no log home. That'd be too expensive probably. So, it's not energized right now. So you can see the primary power going right up in there and the fiber optics going right in there. Right? And then a secondary and a 1814 fiber optics will go to the house over there where the dump truck is. Where are you located? Washington State. The old tailgate would make a cool door for a man cave. I was thinking, Ryan, of using it for like the awning on one of the shipping containers, like bolting it and then putting like some cross braces or something to have it kind of like a little awning or something. I don't know. I haven't come up with a good idea yet. That would be cool for a man door or something. I got a little stockpile of 2-inch clean rock for the driveway. That's basically probably about 70 tons of rock sitting there. Which is nothing. It's not even enough. But, you know, it is what it is. It's a little bit, so. This driveway is... When these trucks are loaded, I mean, they just smash it down so fast. It's unreal. I mean, I've probably spent $30,000 on this driveway so far, guys. It's just nuts. They wouldn't let you put in temp pull and get power out there. No, they will. I just have to buy the cable. I gotta buy the cable and that stuff. But I just, you know, haven't really wanted to spend the money on it yet. You know, it's just one of those things I've been kind of putting off. Mainly because I've been so busy, I haven't had time to do anything like that. You know, either I've been trucking or I've been fixing the trucks, you know. So, you know, it is what it is. You work. So, anyways, guys, I wanted to give you that quick little... Oh, another update. I can give you an update on the... you guys are going to think this is pretty cool. So, this is our pump house, right? Let me show you our pump house. I got some cool little knickknacks here and there. Old flex plate and just some old stuff and some traps and stuff. Check this out, though. Me and Grandpa... there was a little crack, so we decided to put a window in, which I wanted to anyways. I didn't necessarily want to put it right there, but it's as good a spot as any. But check this out. I got all the garden tools and everything all organized, nice and neat. You know, so that's super cool. You know, got a little shelf there. You know, so kids got their toys in here. Look at this. Brian's got his dump trucks and his... Got their dump trucks everywhere. So, I'm very happy about how I organized these shovels. Now that is a work of art right there. I mean, this was just such a cluster. I was about ready to put a knife through my head, you know. It's like, man, I got to get this cleaned up because, you know, I need this space. So, finally got that cleaned up. We also found a spot for Johnny number 5. He's watching over the VANDUYN rock. I made that. When did I make that? Oh, I made that a long time ago, didn't I? Let's see, did I put the date on him? The date, I can't read it, but it's right there, whatever that scribble means. Oh no, I put Wally right there. Where's the date? Put BMB. I don't know. It's been a while since I made that. So I got a video coming out on the side-by-side probably tomorrow. I installed a heater and a windshield on the side-by-side, and let me just say, the windshield is a must. If you get a side-by-side and you're in Washington, you gotta have a windshield. I mean, you can't ride around above like 15 miles an hour without a windshield unless you got like gloves and goggles on, and it sucks. It's so cold. So finally got a windshield on that bad boy and a heater. Very happy with the install on that. Let me just take you over here real quick and I'll just give you a little glimpse so you can be excited for that video. So you can see the 2 heater vents. 1, 2, 3, 4 down there. And then the windshield. That thing, man, let me tell you what, that makes a world of difference. It makes a world of difference, guys. So got that video coming out probably tomorrow sometime. I'm not sure what time I'll make it to get it uploaded. Sometimes those things take forever, so we'll see how that goes. So anyways, that's the new tarp location. Go ahead and pound that thumbs up, guys, and pound that subscribe button if you're new. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Okay? You guys have a good weekend. Enjoy the holiday season. Don't let the COVID drag you guys down. You know, spend as much time with family as you can. Enjoy the company, because you never know when it's going to be, you know, your last time spending time with them. You know, that's just, it sucks, but, you know, you never know when they're going to go. So, alright guys, I'll catch you guys on the next one.